What is going on, guys? GregglesTV. My guest today is Rose from HomeAlarmReport.com and her YouTube Smart Home Tech channel. It's Rose. This is Rose. How are you?
Hey, you have such an awesome video voice. It's like a radio guy.
Thank you. I know. I hear that. I don't have. I have a radio face too.
No,
I'm just
not
kidding.
true. Not true.
So Rose, I found Rose just researching stuff on YouTube. Smart home tech stuff, and I very much enjoyed her content, and I'm very much impressed by it as well. So if you don't already follow It's Rose or go to her website, definitely do it. She's awesome. Like, I'm not saying that because she's a pretty face. You know, she's smart, and it's really, really good content behind it.
Oh,
so
thank you.
yes, so much. So what? Let's start it off with a bang here. What got you into smart home tech and technology to start off?
I've been in the tech field for a long time. I was actually a services sales rep for a major company, which I won't say the name because the next part of the story is that I hated it. I hated the corporate environment.
Yeah.
I hated the corporate rules, the corporate talk, all of it. And I really do have a passion for technology. This was back in 2012, 2013. And a friend of mine and I used to always joke that we were going to quit and we were going to become private investigators because they make insane amounts of money and sit in their car and listen to music. And for some reason, I don't even know how it clicked, but it just decided that maybe it'd be fun to start educating myself on home security and to share that passion with other people, because I do have a degree in criminal justice, among other things, which I wasn't using, and this passion for technology, and it was sort of a merger of those worlds. So it started there, and home security and smart home, they're best friends. So over the years, it has evolved into both, and just something I love, and I'm passionate about it, and I hope that comes across the content I share with people.
For sure it does, and definitely does. The kind of to take a step back, you talked about, how you started off, I think you said as a sales rep, and then you kind of pushed you into what you maybe wanted to do, but on your own. Can you remember back when you were a little girl, like what got you into tech? Like, do you remember, like, maybe it was a cell phone? Like, what was it for you that got you into tech?
My dad.
Your dad?
My dad, yes. He worked at the post office his entire life, but he tried to start this business with my brother-in-law. I don't think he was my brother-in-law at the time, but they did networking for schools, and they built computers from scratch, and then they had this really weird software business where they sold these little games on disc. I don't even know what it was, but our house was filled with motherboards and hard drives and all that fun stuff my whole life. And everybody came over to chat on AOL, Prodigy. Yeah, he always had us with the cool gear.
Do you remember the first smartphone you got?
No, I think it was, I think it was an iPhone.
An iPhone? Is that what you have now?
Yeah,
is an iPhone?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm brand loyal. How about you?
My first smartphone, I had like some Blackberries. Like, I remember I had like a Palm Pilot. Someone found it and they gave it to me and it worked. But I wouldn't really count that. And then I had like a Blackberry that had like 2 letters on each key, which was like a little bit better. But then I'd say like my first real smartphone was like the iPhone 3.
Uh-huh.
iPhone 3.
I think mine was a 3
iPhone
too.
3G, iPhone 3G.
I do too.
So I remember waiting in line. It was an exciting time. I had iPhones for a really, really long time, and then now I'm on Android. I love Android so much more. So,
should I swap? Is that what you're?
Yes. What aren't you? Well, that's a good question. Even though you do smart home products, why won't you switch over to Android? What holds you back?
I think it's laziness. Is that a good excuse? I'm just used to it. I know how to use it. It works.
Yeah.
I've got all my apps. If I buy a new one, it just automatically pulls everything in for me, which I'm sure Android would do too.
Yeah,
but
for sure it does.
It's easy.
It definitely does. So kind of put us back on.
I am not a smartphone expert, okay?
That's okay. You don't have to be. You're a smart home tech
I take some pictures.
expert.
I make some calls. I use the apps. That's about it.
That's fine. That's probably what most people do anyway. Most people could probably get away with a nothing phone that had just 5 apps on it. So smart home products have become obviously more accessible and cheaper within the last couple of years. Which products do you think are leading that front?
I think that for most people, the products that are really accessible and things you interact with every day are leading the way. So starting with a smart thermostat is probably number one, not only because it's something that's usable, but it's actually cost effective because you can recoup your investment after just a couple of years through energy savings. Secondary to that, it probably smart lighting. And I think for a lot of people, the entry into the smart home comes through smart speakers, like Alexa-enabled devices, Google Home, etc.
Yeah, for sure. So leading into the next question then, what 3 smart home products at a very reasonable price, like a low price, could someone get their smart home up and going?
Well, oh, goodness. Excuse me.
I'm leaving that in, don't worry.
I just got so excited about that question. Well, I think that if they wanted to get their smart home started, it depends on what they want to do. I think for a lot of people, it really is just smart lighting. So in which case, the easiest way to get there is to buy the new Amazon Echo Plus, which is both a smart speaker and a hub-in-one. It includes a Zigbee radio, so it can communicate directly with a lot of smart lighting products, including Philips Hue. And LifeX doesn't require a hub, but you could also control your LifeX bulbs if you wanted to go that route. I think that also, if you have a newer HVAC system, that the new Nest E is a really affordable smart home thermostat. It's not as compatible with as many systems as the Nest Learning thermostat. It also doesn't work with dehumidifiers or humidifiers. So if that's important to you, you are going to have to splurge for the Nest Learning, which is a little more expensive. But I really do think those are probably the best products to get started with.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. Which one do you actually like better, LifeX or Hue? Do you have a preference?
I like Hue for me. I like Hue for me. And I think, again, it's just kind of that iPhone personality. What are we going to call it here?
What are you
going to call it? Flaw? Personality flaw that I have?
No, it's not personality. I don't know. No, I mean, if companies are smart enough to get somebody hooked on a product for whatever reason it is, then all the power to them. I mean, a lot of my fans love Samsung. They won't look at any other phone. They're like, oh, Samsung, and that's the only thing that exists. So what I've noticed since I started doing tech videos is that there's only 2 companies. There's Samsung and Apple. That's it. There's no other companies. The other companies sell, they can sell a lot of phones, but the majority of videos that people want to watch are just Samsung and Apple. And for smart lights, I think most people just think Hue lights. They don't really think LifeX. Even though I haven't tried the LifeX, but I've heard LifeX have better, I can't think of the word, brightness,
brighter.
Yeah,
whatever. They're brighter. But, so where you're comparing there, Hue requires a hub. Yeah. So up front, that's going to be a little more expensive. You have to buy the Hue Bridge, which is $60, unless you go with Amazon Echo Plus, where you could connect directly. The bulbs are about $10 cheaper if you're looking at the white color, which if you're going to buy a smart bulb, I don't know why you wouldn't buy color.
Yeah.
So they're about $50 a pop. LifeX is $60. LifeX uses Wi-Fi, so you don't need a hub. They're a little more expensive. Sometimes you can get them on sale. And they're brighter, as you said. I think they're maybe 1,000 lumens. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think
where he was like 800.
Yeah.
So about like a 65 watt bulb, about as bright as that.
Yeah.
It used to be that people preferred Hue though because it had greater compatibility. But LifeX is really catching up. It's compatible with Amazon. I should stop saying this, right? Yours, Alexa devices. It's compatible with Google Assistant devices, and now it's compatible with HomeKit.
Yeah.
So, and Nest, it works with Nest. What else? That's kind of the big 5, right?
Yeah, for sure. Talking about
smart things.
Talking about smart home products. How happy are you with the progress that they've showed so far over the last, few years, 5 years, whatever, like to what we have now? Do you think it's like? To me, I don't think it's perfect. I still feel like it's still too much for like my mom to do, or my somebody in that 30 and over, even people that are in 20s. I think that it's still too much for most people to be like, what the hell is all this? I still think it's complicated. Do you agree with me, or do you think it's at a point now anybody can do it?
I do. I think it's complicated, and I think for me, I've been doing it for so long that I forget that others aren't really used to all these quirks. To me, it's almost expected that things aren't going to work perfectly. If you connect something, there's going to be issues with it. It's just inevitable. I don't think I have any product that has worked perfectly during usage. But I think that beyond that, it is a little bit confusing. Yeah. I think when somebody goes out and they pick up a light bulb off the shelf, they think, oh, this is going to work. I'm just going to screw it in and voila. But it's much more complex than that. There's Z-Wave, which is somewhat more universal as far as a protocol for communication. Wi-Fi is fairly easy, but then you get into Zigbee and you can't necessarily buy one Zigbee device and expect it to work with another. I think it's too complicated. And I think really where we're still missing the mark as an industry is when it comes to security. I think we still put too much of the onus on the consumer to secure their network, to update their passwords, to make sure they're doing all the right things. But I think we could do better.
Yeah, I wish there was a simple answer for the simplification of smart home products, but there really isn't. Like, I can't even imagine how you could. I don't know. Just don't not imagine how you could, unless it's just like you bought a light, you screwed it in, and it automatically knew to connect to your Google Home. It went into the right part on your Google Home app, like the room you set it to, like it just knew all that stuff, like proximity sensors. It knew it that way. I don't know. It's just I can't imagine how they're going to simplify it so that people can just use it and not think about it.
Yeah, a great step would be just for things to work. Are you a Google Home user? I assume,
yeah,
since you're an Android guy. I see it
have,
sitting back there behind you.
Oh, you can see it? Yeah, I have one there. I have like five Google Homes. Six actually. So I have like three minis and then three regular ones or whatever. Maybe I have five.
I think you have a problem.
No, I try to put them in each room, and just so like I can tell it to turn the light off in that room. And then I have a couple of sensors for my Hue lights. I really like the sensors because when I walk up my stairs, they automatically turn on at certain times. When I walk into my master bathroom, the lights automatically turn on at certain times, so we don't have to turn it on. You just go to the bathroom without tripping over the scale or something. So I really, really like the sensors. I think it's still, and the other part of it is that not only is it kind of difficult in a way, it's still pretty expensive. Like I've seen IKEA get some lights down pretty cheap. I think like $19, maybe something like that. It needs to get into like the $10 range, the $5 range, maybe even cheaper before people really just, hey, I'm going to buy it. I might not have the hub, but maybe I will someday, or they don't need a hub, whatever it is. They really need to get to that before it has mass appeal.
Yeah, true. It is expensive. I do have some of the GE Link bulbs connected to my SmartThings hub, and those run about $15. But I think you can go down to Lowe's and buy a 5-pack of regular LEDs for $6 or something. And
then the other thing is like you have all these different brands, and you're right. Some will work with this, some won't work with that, and then or if they don't work with that, you have to figure out a way so it does work with that. And I think you might say SmartThings does all of that. I bought a SmartThings. I just never really jumped into it too much. And I just found using Google Home and that app to control everything was a little bit easier. And I like that. So let me get into the next question, though, before we bore people with how our complaining of smart home products and prices.
You just edit all that out.
No, I'm keeping it. They're listening to it. So what are some of the most... So what are some of the most interesting and exciting smart home products that you've seen recently and played with?
Well, I hate to say this, but last year when I went to CES, I felt like it went a little bit flat for me. I didn't really feel like there were not a lot of new products, a lot of innovations, and I think for the past year, things have been somewhat stagnant. I'm really excited about all of the new voice agnostic products that are coming out. I haven't had the chance to play with any, but for example, Sonos One, and then the upcoming Honeywell Smart Security System. I think what's neat about them is that they work with all of the voice assistants. So you can say, hey, G, you can say Alexa, you can say, hey, Siri, and they work. I think that's really interesting, and I'm excited to see where they go with that. I think, for example, right now, Sonos One, the only integration it has is with Alexa, and I do think that it can't quite do everything that your normal A-enabled devices can do. But I think that they can build it out over time. Also, I'm really loving my Arlo Pro 2 cameras, which I might get some slack for because I know a lot of people have been having problems with them.
Which cameras
Arlo Pro 2.
Arlo Pro 2. Yeah, so how do you like those? Do you have blink cameras too or no?
I do.
Okay, so maybe that's one of my questions. I'll just ask you anyway. Which ones do you prefer better, Arlo Pro 2 or Blink?
Arlo Pro 2.
Really?
I like Blink very much, and I do think that it's affordable option. So if someone wants a battery-powered camera for under $100, it's good. I like Blink XT more than I like Blink because it has true night vision, it has the higher resolution, but it's still missing some things. So it's missing two-way audio, it's missing geofencing, which I think is an essential element for a home security camera.
Yeah.
And the other thing that really bothers me about Blink is that it does not send a notification until it's done recording. So if it detects motion, it starts recording an event. You can decide how long it wants to record. But let's say that you decide you want it to record for 60 seconds. You're not actually going to get a notification that somebody triggered your camera for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
For home security, that's sort of problematic.
Do you notice?
Pro.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you notice a difference quality-wise between the two?
Yeah, I do. I can see it. I've got a few videos up on YouTube, which I can send you a clip if you want to add it in here. But there is actually a resolution difference between Blink and Arlo Pro.
Which one looks better?
Arlo Pro.
Arlo Pro.
Arlo Pro looks better.
Arlo Pro
Yeah.
2?
Yeah. Both of them look better, but 2 looks even better than Arlo Pro. So Arlo Pro is 720p, Arlo Pro 2 is 1080p.
Yeah.
The difference is minute. You really have to zoom in and look at like blades of grass, leaves on a tree, but you can see the difference between the two cameras.
Interesting.
I might catch some slack for that though, because there's at launch, Pro 2 has had some issues. And one of those issues has affected the night vision quality. I fortunately did not have that issue. My night vision on Pro 2 is better than Arlo Pro, but that's not been the case for a lot of people. It's sort of whitewashed, not as good of a quality.
Yeah, is that a software update or a hardware issue?
They fixed it via a firmware update.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
Yeah, so they say. Someone's going to be like, mine is not fixed.
All right, well, this is the speed round. This is the end of our thing, so we're going to get into a speed round. You got to give me you got to pick a winner, and you got to give me one reason why. Don't go into a paragraph answer, okay?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. All right, so Google Home versus Amazon Echo.
Google Home. The smart home device integration is superior and it's smarter.
All right, I like that. Google Home for the win. Best self-installed home alarm.
I'm going with Abode for self-monitored because it's reliable, but there's also a ton of smart home integrations and they don't charge for those.
To add to that, though, the smart home alarms, they don't just, from what I've seen, maybe I'm completely wrong, they don't just work. You have to trigger it like a real alarm, right? It's not like, so if I set it to go off at 3 a.m. in the morning, I mean, to always be on when I'm asleep, and then I go down at 3 a.m., I have to tell it to not go off, right? There's not a camera or something that will notice my face and be like, he's safe, you don't need to turn that on.
Yes, I don't know of a self-monitored home security system that includes facial recognition yet.
We need facial recognition.
Some that are coming.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's what I want. I don't want to think. I just want to be able to walk in the house and it's like, oh, that's Greg. He's good.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
There's some cameras that'll do that, but I don't know of a full-blown system that'll do it for you.
Easier to integrate with smart home products. But this, I think you're going to say iPhone because you don't have Android. I assumed you had an Android. Okay. Easier to integrate with smart home products, iPhone or Android?
I think I would pick iPhone no matter what because HomeKit.
Really?
Y'all don't have HomeKit. You don't have anything compatible. Nothing. Nada. Zip. Zilch.
And then you've kind of already answered this question, but I'll ask you anyway. Best security camera. Let's do it this way. Best budget security cameras to get. Best, whatever the price is, security camera. And be reasonable for consumers, not, go.
First of all, everybody needs a video doorbell. That's its own category. Can't forget that one. I'm going with Ring Video Doorbell. For budget, I'm going to go with Blink. It's a good camera. It's reliable. I've had that camera for at least 2 years. No problems with it. It works. For an expensive camera, there's two. I can't just pick one. So for certain use cases, Arlo Pro is going to work. But there are certain use cases where you're going to need something like Nest Cam. And Nest Cam is going to be my pick, even over Arlo Hue. Because with Nest Aware, which is $10 per month, you get continuous video recording. And if you need an outdoor camera and you want to keep an eye on your neighborhood, continuous video recording is essential.
Yeah, that's a good choice. So, like I said, if you guys don't follow It's Rose, make sure that you do. I'm not joking. Like, she doesn't have a million videos like I do. I have way too many videos to watch. But she has the right amount of videos. She gets a lot of views on her videos. You have to watch her. You have to subscribe to her, especially if you're interested in smart home products, just making your house smart. She reviews all the latest and the greatest stuff. So check her out. I'll link all of her stuff down below. Her website, her YouTube, all those links will be there. Maybe even her Twitter. You can follow her on Twitter. And I forget what was the other social media you had?
That's it. I got Twitter and YouTube. Terrible at this.
I know. It's okay. Is there anything else you wanted to say or promote or anything?
No, that's great. I'm so thankful to be here, and I'd love to meet y'all wherever you want to meet at, Twitter, YouTube.
That's it, guys. Nowhere else. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you down the road.
Bye.
Peace.